Hi there. In this particular video, I want to introduce you to my one-page sustainability system blueprint. I kind of thought about this for a long time, and I decided that if I run a social enterprise, or I run a charity, or I run a business, and I wanted to consider a step-by-step approach, or if I want to create a plan of action, or if I want to put together a series of items that will ensure my business is sustainable over the long haul, what will be the blueprint? And this is through many years of experience and trial and error and reading and watching other successful businesses and putting all this together in this one-page blueprint. And it covers the Y, the S, the B, the F, and the T. The Y stands for you and your organization, the S for your structure, the B for your beneficiaries, the F for funding and finance, and the T for trading. Putting all that together will equate to a sustainable business. So in this particular video, what I want to do is to break it down one after the other and show you, by answering some of those questions that I've listed there, in a way that helps you to build your own business so that over the long haul, your enterprise will become sustainable. So let's get started. And we're going to look at the first one. That is the you. Under the you, it's about you and your organization. And it covers aspects like your passion. What are you passionate about? What are the areas of the business that really gets you going, that makes you feel like you don't want to go to bed anymore, or that makes you feel like waking up on a Monday morning? What is it? What is your comparable advantage? Oh, that's such a big one. A comparable advantage is an advantage that you possess over other similar businesses. That comparable advantage could be lurking in the connections that you have, or it could be lurking in the time it takes you to deliver a service. It could be lurking in the way you deliver a service. It could be lurking in your packaging. It could be lurking in your service delivery of some sort. It just really depends on what and you got to know what yours is. Okay? What is your comparable advantage? Another thing to consider there is your skill set. What kind of skills do you have that others just don't possess the same level of? What is it? What are the results you've generated? Well, hang on. Why are results you've generated important here? Because the results you've generated is what you're going to leverage as your testimonials. Because when you're thinking about attracting people to your business, they want to know, what have you done? Who have you worked with? What have you achieved over the years that you've worked? So if you can leverage those are the results that you talk about. You get people to write testimonials for you, and you post those on your website. People, they gain much confidence from what other people have said about you. Your website could be full of what you say about yourself. But your testimonial page is what others have said about you. And people are really more interested in what others say about you. That's why it is easier for you to get more business from other publicity materials that do not belong to you. For example, if somebody covers your business in a newspaper or a magazine or on a particular blog, and they interview you, that's the perspective of the owner of that magazine or that platform, and people can really connect with that. So it's important for you to consider that. The next one is your reputation. What do people say about you? That feeds into what we've said before. And finally, what are your long-term goals? Where are you going with your organization? Or where is your organization going? If you can answer those questions, it doesn't have to be written down in long pages and reams of paper. No, but you've got to be able to answer those questions in a succinct manner. And if you can just imagine the results that you're going to get from thinking about those questions, they will stand you in good stead to create your own sustainability system blueprint. Really important. Okay, what's the next area that we're going to consider? The second area is your structure. And this really looks at your business structure. And the first, if you're a social enterprise or you're a charity or you are a community interest company, then you're going to have either you're going to have trustees or you're going to have directors. If you're a charity, you have trustees. If you are a social enterprise, meaning a community interest company or a limited by guarantee company, then you're going to have directors and secretaries in that. So who are they? Did you handpick your trustees and directors? Because you know what? I've seen situations where the trustees are actually a hindrance to the success of the organization they're supposed to support because they have no clue about what they're doing. And when an idea comes up, the trustees sit on the idea or they simply destroy the idea and will not execute. If you have trustees who are very powerful and have a grip on your organization, but yet they're not forward thinking, they could ruin your business. The same way if you have directors that are not forward thinking and they really have no understanding of how business works, and every time you bring up an idea, they always say, no, that's too risky. It's not going to work. They'll find some other person who's tried it and it didn't work. So they're not introducing new ideas, but whenever you bring yours, they shoot it down. Well, you're in for a hard time. You will have to replace those organizations. That's why in the beginning, if you're forming a limited by guarantee company, you need to make sure that you are the person with significant control. It's important because if you are a person with significant control, then it is possible for you to remove those directors and replace them with new ones. And you've got to be that brutal if you want your organization to succeed. So it's important when you're thinking about your structure. Next is the type of structure you're going to have. Are you going to have, like I said, a charity? If you're going to be totally reliant on grant funding, really what you need is a charity. You don't need a community interest company or limited by guarantee company, which are the two types of, if I can say so, social enterprise structures you can have. Community interest company or limited by guarantee company. You know, the limited by shares doesn't fit in here because it's not approved as a non-for-profit. So thinking about it, what kind of structure are you going to have? If you're thinking about trading, those two types of structures will stand you in good stead. If you're thinking about getting a loan, for example, from investors, then you need to set up a limited, I beg your pardon, if you're getting a loan from investors, you need to definitely set up a community interest company, because the community interest company is one that affords you the opportunity to be able to distribute 35% of your total annual profit to shareholders. Okay, let me say that again, because a limited by guarantee company does not have shareholders. What it has is members. There is no share of profits. There's no dividend to be shared. Actually, all your profit should be reinvested back into the organization. However, if you set up a community interest company, which is also a type of limited company, and you can watch my video on this. I've done quite a few videos now on community interest companies, but the point I'm making is if you set up a community interest company, then you can set up either a community, well, there are about 7 types, but you can set up, broadly speaking, a community interest company limited by guarantee, which means that they will have no opportunity to distribute any shareholding whatsoever, Or you can set up a community interest company limited by shares. And if you set up a community interest company limited by shares, then you can share out by way of dividends 35% of your profit for the year, and 65% needs to be reinvested into the business. So you're going to be thinking about, what kind of structure am I going to have? It's important. How are you going to be financed is one of the ways that can determine the type of structure that you are going to have. Let's go on here. Type of ownership, then I talked about the shares under the community interest company, so that will help you with that. And then how are you going to trade? Are you going to trade? You have to decide, because the decision to trade would impact on the type of business structure that you form at the end of the day. What are your financial goals? Where are you going financially? How much do you want to turn over as a business? And finally, in that place, talks about attraction, meaning how do you plan to attract investors into your business? How do you plan to attract loans into your business? How do you plan to attract people into your business? Is an important consideration when you're thinking about this one-page sustainability system blueprint. Okay, let's go on to the third part, which is the B. The B there stands for beneficiaries. Under the social enterprise or charitable organization system, you are delivering your services to a particular group of people. So who are they? Who are the particular group of people, your target group or stakeholders, some people might call it, that you want to impact over a long period of time? Is it going to be the youth who are disadvantaged that live in a particular location? Or is it women who need post and prenatal care? Or is it women that have been abused domestically? Or is it older people? Or is it the over 50s, the over 40s, those who are sick with a particular kind of disease? Whatever it is, you need to earmark your particular group of beneficiaries. Then I talked about where they're located. That's really important. Sometimes you may want to limit your service offering to a particular location. Well, you might want to do so because there is funding for that type of organization in that location, or you may want to restrict your location because that's what you want to deal with at that moment. Or you might want to have certain areas with similar demographics that you want to deal with. You need to know what that is. What is the location or locations of the beneficiary group that you are delivering services for? How do you plan to reach them? Notice that in this one-page sustainability system blueprint, it sounds very much like a business plan almost. And it's very close to a business plan, although it's not quite a business plan, but it borrows some attributes of a business plan here. What are their challenges? Very important. The last thing you want to do is to create activities that the beneficiaries are not interested in. So therefore, this question really gears you towards speaking to the beneficiaries before you develop your package and your product offerings. One of the things that we do all the time when we're thinking about a service package that we want to offer, we go talk to some of the clients. Will you be interested in this? And sometimes they say, no, I'm not interested. I won't be interested. And too many of them say they're not going to be interested. We're not going to start it because is it likely to sell? The answer is no. Can it sell sometimes because they say no? Maybe. But, really, we want to, and sometimes we go and test it. We make phone calls, we make cold calls. We call other businesses that we feel should want the service. We try and sell it to them and we see what happens. We see what the uptake is. There's no uptake and we try. We're going to have to change that product or we just dump it because we see that it's not going to work. So you've got to adopt the system of learning what their challenges are. And then in connection with that is the solutions they want and what you can deliver. If you cannot deliver the solutions that your beneficiaries want, either you are focused on the wrong beneficiaries or you simply are not capable of delivering the services that that beneficiary wants. So you need to pick another group of beneficiaries. It's that simple. If you're passionate about youth, for example, and the youth that you want to appeal to are those who have really been involved in the gang culture, and you think, well, what do I know about gang culture? Okay, either you get someone else in to deliver the services to them, or you simply find another group because you don't have the experience, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the solutions. So it's going to struggle. That's what it is. But when you follow through with this plan, this one-page sustainability system blueprint, it's asking you those questions so you can face those issues right now and deal with them before you invest your time and money in the business. Okay, let's go on and look at the fourth area. Is in the area of funding. That's the F. So we've talked about you and your organization. We've talked about S, structure. We've talked about the beneficiaries. Now we're looking at the funding. Do you have a grant funding strategy? How do you plan to bring in grant funding? There are two ways to do it. Well, there's probably many ways, but there are two broad ways of getting grant funding. Either you follow through and write all the applications yourself. Actually, three ways. You follow through and write all the applications yourself, which is one way of doing it. Or you employ a consultancy company, organization, person to write and find applicable grant funding for you and really write most of the content in the applications, and you've got to pay for that service somehow. Or you do a combination of both, which means sometimes you write certain applications and sometimes you find it out for other people to write for you. You could do any of those three, broadly speaking. Okay, here's the deal. When you're just starting out, it could be that you need to write an application or two yourself because you're just starting out. Maybe you don't have any money to pay a consultant. So you just got to write it yourself. But you're going to discover very quickly that as you get involved in service delivery, thinking and writing about grant application forms is going to be like a noose around your neck. That's what we've discovered with some of our clients. That's why they come to us. They ask us to write their funding applications for them, and we charge a fee for doing that. And, that's how we work. But the point I'm making is you might have to start yourself. And then later on, as your business grows, as the organization thrives and improves, then you get a consultant, and you might still want to maintain the writing of some applications yourself over the long term, if that works for you. All right. Another thing on that funding is your donation strategy. Particularly if you're a charity, you need to consider how you're going to get donations. And if you're going to get donations, you should be registered with the HMRC so that you can get the gift aid that is attached to donations. Again, fundraising strategies, there are many others. You might want to find yourself one of those funding platforms that allows people to donate on it. Or you might be seeking some form of family loans to improve or to start off your business in the beginning. And then as your business grows and thrives, you might have to consider some social loans. Some people shy away from social loans, but social loans are not bad if they are going to help your business to thrive. For example, if you're a social enterprise and you're turning over, I don't know, there was an organization I know of, they were turning over, I think, about 3 million or so. They were turning over about 3 million a year. And then they wanted to buy another business because they knew that if they bought this business, it was going for a really good price. They knew that if they bought this business, it was going to increase their turnover to 7 million. So what they did was they borrowed the money, social loan, they got a social loan, which is, social loan tends to be loans that are given for social reasons. All right. So the whole premise of the lending does not depend on, oh, you're going to make a lot of money. It could be social loans are given because they want to address a particular problem. They still want the money back because it's a loan, but they will consider giving you the money because they're going to get it back. They're going to get it back, and it addresses a social ill in the society. So social loans are for that, all right? This is called social investment. And organizations will give you money to do that. Anyway, in this case, they give them the money. Now, they're turning over almost 8 million a year. Of course, they're paying back the loan because the business is actually working very well. But they had to get a social loan. Sometimes you talk to people about social loans and they want to shy away from it. It could be you have no other choice but to get a loan because grants just won't cover it. And then finally, you can get a loan from a bank, from a high street, normal high street bank. Sometimes they would give you funding as well. So you're going to be thinking about these 4 areas that we've addressed so far. The why, the you and your organization, the S, the structure that you're going to create, then the B, the beneficiaries that you are going to deliver your services to, and the F, the funding or financing that your organization will attract in order to run and grow the business or scale the business, if you like. All right. Finally, the 5th part of this is your trading income. This is critical. Trading is critical to a social enterprise. Even now, some charities trade. For example, in the UK, Oxfam, they have shops, they trade. Mind, they trade. British Heart Foundation, they trade. That's why they have shops, because people donate to them used and unused items, and they sell them and make a profit. They pay the staff and they plow back the money into the organization. That means they're not 100% totally reliant on grant funding. It's hard for an organization to rely totally on grant funding because sometimes you just don't get the funding. Sometimes the funding takes too long to get, and you need to be trading. So every social enterprise must consider how they're going to trade. How are they going to... And you know what? You know what's interesting is that if you run a social enterprise, people really don't mind paying you because they know that you're doing some social good. So if you can present the good you're doing in the community, maybe you're employing disabled people, or you're employing older people, or you're employing those who have been in jail, or you are employing women, whatever it is. If you can present your business as one dealing with a social issue in the community, people would prefer to trade with you, particularly if you're delivering a good service. Nobody will trade with you if you're delivering a horrible service just because you're doing some social good. I'm talking about you're delivering, because sometimes people have it in their head, oh, because I work with disadvantaged people, then doesn't matter what I do, people will work with me. People will buy my product. No, it's not true. People will go buy another person's product, or maybe you are delivering a product that reduces environmental degradation. They may still go and buy plastic simply because you're not delivering a good product. So we don't want to be like that. We want to be delivering a good product, and also we want to present our social good and make it known so that it's well publicized and people want to trade with us. So the point, I said all that to say this, that you have good opportunities to trade if you run a social enterprise. So let's look at some other questions there. In talking about trading, you might need to pick a niche that you want to attract, and then you think about the marketing strategy. In other words, how are you going to reach the people that you want to sell your product to? This is not a case of you're delivering your product now or service for a group of individuals who are not going to pay for it. This is not that. This is, you want to deliver your service actually to a group of people that you want to charge a fee for that delivery. So who are they? How do you plan to market with them? to them. And the way you market to those who are fee paying and those who are non-fee paying could be completely different. It could be that you market with non-fee paying by using leaflets, and you're also getting referrals from agencies that are local to you. But it could be the fee-paying clients are being targeted on a nice-looking website. It could be so. I don't know. Or you're targeting them on LinkedIn, or you're targeting them through Google ads or YouTube ads, whatever it is. But you need to decide, how am I going to get my product to that group of people? And then what's your pricing strategy? Grant Cardone is a business guy. He always talks about the fact that if we increased our prices by 100%, we probably will still get more sales. We might lose some clients, but we may get more sales. Why is that? Because too many times we are charging too low a price for our services and products. And his mindset is, the first thing you need to do is to increase your price by like 20 or 30 or 40%, sometimes even 50 or 100%. Because if you do so, you will still retain some clients and you will have better quality clients if you did that. I think there's an element of truth in there. So think about your pricing strategy very carefully. Don't think about charging too low in the beginning, because it doesn't always work. When we think about, in any business that is, when we ever think about pricing strategy, we think, oh, I will charge less so that more people will come my way. I'm going to charge less. It doesn't always work out like that. And it's generally not a good strategy anyway, particularly if you're a smaller business. You can actually use high prices to differentiate yourself in the market. There's a mindset that says, if it's charging that much, then it must be good. There's another mindset that says, if he or she is charging that little, then he or she must not be good. But if she's charging a lot, she's so expensive, they say, but they go and pay anyway. They say, oh, she must be good at what she does. That's why she's charging so much. All our competitors are charging, I don't know, 1,000 pounds, but she's like, it's 15K. Oh, she must be so good if she's charging. And that person is working with them. And that other company is working with them. Look at the mindset. Just say that person is good. So I say all that to make you know that charging below market price or below market rate is not always the best strategy to pursue. So again, going on to looking at this trading income. Trading income, after you've dealt with your pricing strategy, then your distribution channels. How are you going to get your product to the people who need it? Are you going to market, like I said, are you going to market through those mediums that I mentioned earlier, like Facebook, Google, or are you going to actually sell the product through places like Udemy, for example, if you're going to deliver digital products, or you're going to sell those products through another existing organization that needs to reach their own clients, and because they need to reach their own clients, you've got the product or services that they need to give to their clients. So you're selling it that way. Whatever channels, think about channels with an S, not channel, but channels, because you need to spread your products and services wide enough to attract as many people that you can actually deal with. And then finally, think about developing your business skills. If you develop your business skills in this area of trading, you're going to find that you are more cash flow fluid and cash liquid than many other organizations who do not trade but rely solely on grant funding. All right, let's look at this again. So this one-page sustainability system blueprint talks about your organization, the structure you need to establish for that organization. You need to identify the beneficiaries you're going to be working with, and equally how you're going to raise the finance necessary to fund the business. And also you need to be thinking about your trading income. So I've got right there a statement. If proper development of these elements or with proper development of this element, which is the 5 elements of your organization structure, beneficiaries, funding, and trading income, your social enterprise is almost guaranteed to be a success. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching this on I beg your pardon. If you're watching this on YouTube, do subscribe to the channel. If you're watching it on Facebook, then like the page. Comment below, though. I want to know what you think about this one-page sustainability blueprint or system blueprint. And probably, yeah, if you would email or complete the form attached to this clickable link, which will be in the description below, completed, I'll send you this blueprint so that you can stick it on a wall or something, or I might put the link in the description below. But let me know your comments. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a system that could work for you? What are things you don't like about this one-page sustainability system blueprint? Because I want to develop it as we go along and as people engage with it, so to speak. All right, then. Great to have you along, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much.